Hi, I'm Don Rhoads, Burrus Sales Agronomist, and I want to visit with you a little bit today about what's happening in the rootworm world, both in Illinois and Iowa. It's been documented we've got some resistance. I know many of you have talked and heard about weed resistance in the Midwest for several years. Now we're having to contend with insect resistance, primarily the corn rootworm, developing resistance to what's known as the Cry3b1 protein, or actually the Monsanto Yield Guard event. This has been documented in Iowa last year and in this year also in Illinois. Entomologists just recently announced this in Illinois that it's happened last year. And we were invited to look at a field this year that had some significant rootworm injury in Illinois. And when we entered this field, which had been planted to continuous corn for about 20 years, the last 5 or 6 years, we know that this field had been planted to Monsanto's Yield Guard rootworm event. As we entered the field this summer, we saw significant rootworm beetles feeding on the leaves, and upon digging the root system of several plants, we saw significant root injury from rootworm feeding on the Yield Guard rootworm hybrid planted in that field. So this was significant. Some entomologists from Illinois gathered some insects from this field, and they took them to the lab, and they're going to rear the larvae from these insects. We should know next year sometime if this is truly another population that has developed resistance to the rootworm event from Monsanto. So in the meantime, what are some things we can do for 2013 to help protect our farm? Well, one thing we are strongly recommending is to rotate corn rootworm traits and the technology. We know that it's worked in the weed world. When we rotate herbicides from one mode of action to another, it's going to help in the insect world also. Use multiple modes of action. We're even advising, if you're using a trait, go ahead and use a soil applied insecticide on top of that trait for extra protection. Thirdly, we would recommend, hey, just rotate the soybeans. That's going to get the rotation broken into the soybeans. It should lower the population of the rootworm in that particular field. And also, if you're planting a non-GMO or a hybrid that's not protected with a corn rootworm trait, also use a soil applied insecticide. The insecticides are still doing a good job in protecting against corn rootworm in the fields. And finally, we always recommend to plant the prescribed refuge. We've been preaching this for years. That's going to help protect the traits that are still viable and you're doing a good job, such as the Herculex Extra and the AgriSure rootworm traits that we're supplying in our products, both with the Burrus and the Hughes products. And also, if you have planted Yield Guard traits in a field for 3 consecutive years, again, we recommend strongly to rotate that to either AcreMax or AgriSure rootworm products that we are able to offer to our customers. Thank you, and I hope this has been helpful.